Alright, there we go. That looks pretty good. Alright, good evening everyone. My name is Phil Gallagher. I run Thraben University, a site for legacy death and taxes. Today we're going to be playing a donation deck list. We are going to be playing some 12 post, or Eldrazi post, big Eldrazi, whatever you want to call it. We're going to be looking to cast things that cost 7 or more mana, which is a relative rarity by legacy standards. So this version of the deck list is a little bit interesting. It's more green heavy than usual. Hey Jedi, welcome! And this is Jedi's donation deck list, by the way. We've crossed into enemy territory. You were supposed to tap the cloud posts, not untap them. Yeah. So we have a lot of posts, right? So we have cloud posts, we have glimmer posts, we have Vesuvas to copy them, and Thespian Stage as sort of an honorary 13th post, since it can copy these as well. We have candles to untap them, and while many times this deck list is kind of like relatively colorless, this one's green. So we have Ancient Stirrings, which seems stupid, right? So this says you can get a colorless card and put it into your hand. So this hits the 28 lands and everything over here except for other crop rotations and Ancient Stirrings. That's insane, right? It even gets From Beyond, and this thing's devoid. So that's like super cute. Not that you necessarily want to be getting this, but like it's a thing. I'm gonna take a second to read that one because this is a gem. So at the beginning of your upkeep, you get a 1/1 Eldrazi Scion token, and you can pay a green and a colorless to sack this and search for an Eldrazi card. So it's a mana producer, or a creature, or a stream of 1/1 threats. This is kind of a cool card. I'm looking forward to see this in action. But yeah, our deck is essentially mana, tutors, and fat. We don't really interact with our opponent very much. Like, we have this Warping Whale, which can, like, counter a spell or exile a creature. Or it can just be a mana, which is fine. We have Pithing Needles to, like, basically stop Wasteland with random upsides of being able to do other things. But otherwise, we're just looking to cast these big dumb things and hope they win the game. Sword Equip, thank you very much for your continued support. I appreciate it. Yeah, Ancient Stirrings, like, seems like a great Magic card, but this might be the most broken Ancient Stirrings shell I've ever seen. So, like, other than these 7 cards, when you cast one of these, you hit everything else in your deck. So you have 52 possible hits on that card. Like, that seems really cool. As far as the sideboard goes, we have Krosan Grip, which can answer problematic things like, say, Blood Moon or Back to Basics. You have Surgicals for Graveyard Hate, Trinisphere and Sphere of Resistance for combo decks, Ratchet Bomb as a catch-all, and then we have, like, this random Dark Depths, which I kind of stared at for a while before, like, I kind of got it. So, since you have Ancient Stirrings, Crop Rotation, Expedition map, it's not actually all that unlikely for you to just go and assemble a 2020 monster. And so I guess this is to let you just, like, punch a hole in decks that can't really answer this sort of thing. You know, like Grixis Control, for example, has a huge amount of trouble answering a Merit Lodge. Or it just gives you kind of a fast out to combo towards if you play against a fast deck as well. So I think this is just some flexibility. For when the 15/15, it doesn't get the job done. Yeah, so, like, let's take 3 seconds here and talk about the creature threats. Like, if you can cast it, like, Emrakul is obviously the best. It annihilates everything, it can't be countered, you get an extra turn. Emrakul the Promised End is kind of like the budget Emrakul. Not that it, like, in terms of mana. So it costs a couple less, and it costs 1 less for each card in your graveyard. So you maybe don't put that many card types in your graveyard. Like, I guess you can, like, sack a map, play an Ancient Stirrings, which is a sorcery, get an instant, and reduce this to, like, 9 or so. And I guess that's fine. Ugin is busted. That card is awesome against the mid-rangey decks like Death and Taxes, where you just get to exile their board and still have a Planeswalker left. It's just disgusting. Ulamog is one of your best cards against control. You cast it. You go and you exile 2 of their lands, or like their Jace and some other important card. And even if they counter this, the damage is already done. And Kozilek is a really cool draw engine. So if you have fewer than 7 cards in hand when you cast it, you draw up to 7. And then you can discard a card with the same converted mana cost as what your opponent is casting to go and counter that. I'm just going to kind of go into games today, and we're going to see how this deck does. I have not played a version that is this green heavy. All right, so I just want to say one more thing. Like, if you just go and take a look at the mana base one more time, because I didn't really highlight this, like, you have 7 basic forests in this list. Like, that's pretty cool. So for these green cards that you want to cast, you actually have enough green sources to play them through something like a Blood Moon in some cases. I suppose I should highlight a couple of the tutor targets real quick. So you have Glacial Chasm and Tabernacle for sort of your like creature damage-based decks. You have Karakas if your opponent plays something unfair. You have Bojuka Bog for graveyard synergies, breaking that up. And then you have Maze of Ith, just as a generic thing to stop creatures. This deck has great inevitability, so if you can buy time, you can often just win the game. D&T versus Blue-White Stoneblade, huh? You don't like that one? You don't like being on the wrong side of True Name and Jitte? Yeah, it is pretty miserable. I think a lot of the people who end up like splashing for Orzhov Pontiff have just played True Name against True Name Nemesis like one too many times locally, and they're just like, all right, that's it. Screw you, True Name. I want more outs to you, and then they shove that into their sideboard with no regrets. All right, let's turn that volume down to a more reasonable level. Sorry about that, folks. Oh yeah, Sword Equip. I imagine that like when you cast Kozilek, you're probably drawing 5 or more cards most of the time. We have failed in our matchmaking. Yeah, if you can stop the opposing Jitte in the Stoneblade matchups, most of the rest of the stuff they're doing isn't all that scary. So this is interesting. With Ancient Stirrings, I'm basically guaranteed to hit a land. Alright, I shouldn't say guaranteed. I'm very likely to hit a land. And with a second Ancient Stirrings, I'm very likely to hit another land. I have too much fat in this opener. I think this is a mulligan to try to find something that's a little more consistent. I wish I had gotten this hand after playing a couple matches with this deck, so I'd have a better feel for it, but I really think I just want to start with a post. Or at least multiple lands. I'm going to send this one back. I like this one a lot better. It's still awkward. But, like, I am at least making multiple mana. I will keep the forest so that I can play Ancient Stirrings. I don't, like, want this necessarily, but it turns a card in my hand from a dead card into a live card. Yeah, if my opponent's like a Delver deck and I just have a, like, handful of Maze of Ith, I'm okay with this scenario. Burn. Well, this is probably not a good matchup for me, if I were to guess. You know what? Glimmer Post seems like an okay card. I'm gonna take one of those. Yeah, RBS. Right after I said that, I realized how degenerate Glimmer Post probably would be. Okay. So I can just play Thespian Stage and copy my Cloud Post to this turn, and then I can gain 3 with my Glimmer Post next turn instead of 2, while also potentially doing something kind of broken. I think I like that. So my opponent's got 3 cards left. If they, like, play Mountain, do, like, triple Burn Spell plus Fire Blast, I'd die. I can also just, like, try to Stirrings and find another Glimmer Post. I think I can safely wait another turn to get a post. But maybe I'm wrong. Because if I, like, copy this turn, I can gain 3 next turn, and then use Stirrings and maybe play some mid-sized card. Maybe I'm just supposed to look for another post. Alright, I'll take the Vesuva. And then I can copy that again next turn. I really don't want my opponent to have a continuous source of damage, like Sulfuric Vortex. That's rough. Alright, how does Expedition, or how does Glacial Chasm read? Prevent all damage that would be dealt to you. That is strong. So do I just, like, literally win the game if I have a Glacial Chasm in play? Well, not... I still have to win, but, like, I just take 2 a turn instead of a billion D. Alright, it's cumulative. So I can play Vesuva Cloud Post, make 3, 4, 5 damage. I can Expedition Map, go and get something. And then next turn I'll have 3, 6, 7, 8 mana. So current plan is to like use Eye of Ugin. Oh god, Price of Progress. I think that thwarted my plans. So I can make 3, 6, 7, 8. Opponent has 6 cards in graveyard. Ugh. I guess I can play a Maze of Ith, Maze the Eidolon for a turn. They have 6 cards in graveyard. They can't Barbarian Ring. I can go down to 1 and then hope to draw like a 10 mana spell that I can cast. Like an Ugin. That does not feel good. That's the plan. The plan has failed. Sulfuric Vortex, so good, but like both because it stops the life gain and because it's a continuous source of damage. The double Price of Progress also was not something I was really playing around. So I don't want Pithing Needles. I don't want Bajuka Bog. Tabernacle seems pretty bad. I can potentially trim a top-end card. So I see myself wanting depths, probably playing Thought Knot, Trinisphere, Spheres? So I know we just lost a Sulfuric Vortex, but I don't know if it's correct to actually board in Krosan Grip to answer it. I'm not really a deck with a lot of manipulation. Like, I've got the Ancient Stirrings, but that doesn't even, like, find Krosan Grip. So I wonder if, like, bringing in Krosan Grip might be overboarding. Like, how many Vortexes does my opponent have? Probably 2-ish? And then 4 Eidolons, so it probably has about 6 targets. I don't know that that's actually good enough. I've got answers to an Ensnaring Bridge, though, right? Like, I can just exile that with Ulamog. So let's sort by converted mana cost here. First, are there any other lands I want to cut? No, probably not. Maze of Ith is kind of medium. This doesn't seem like a great From Beyond matchup. Although I guess it's a tutor for the lands. I think I'm going to cut that. And I'm one land away from really liking this hand. If I had a second hand, a second land, I'd be all over this, but I think I'm going to mull. I'll reluctantly keep this one. Send that to the bottom. Price of Progress, yes, that will be a bad card. I'm going to lead on the Cloud Post here. I want to have that in play as soon as possible. And if I don't play the Cloud Post early, I'll play like map on 1 and then pop it on 2. Price of Progress is a relatively degenerate card. I'm going to set a stop on my upkeep. I probably don't want another expedition map. I think I'm just going to go and get a Glimmer Post. And start gaining some life. Or do I just go big? I could just get Thespian Stage and get Dark Depths the following turn. That's not crazy. So I take 2 more from the Goblin Guide, go to 11. So it's either I get Thespian Stage, gain, or get Glimmer Post, gain 2 life, and then I can, like, Thought Not Seer next turn, or I can just try to go for a win. I feel like my opponent has a hand full of gas, and they just can't cast spells. So if they draw lands, I'm probably in trouble. Well, that was an interesting draw. Yeah, if they didn't miss a land drop, I would have just gone for a Glimmer Post. And if I need to pivot, I can just gain life and play Thought Knot. But if my opponent missed a land drop, I don't really need to pivot. So I guess I can't play and do it this turn. Like I can play a Glimmer Poe. I think I'm going to take a turn off to just make sure I'm not going to die to something stupid. Gah! Well. Opponent's hand is pretty okay. Yep. Dear opponent, please don't draw a land. If they draw a mountain, I'm just all sorts of dead. Bosk, thank you very much for throwing a subscription this way. And Sword Equip, thank you very much for the bits. We have a sort of a tenuous hold on this game. So I can go 2 mana, grab Dark Depths. 1, 2, activate. That gets rid of 2 of my lands. It would mean I would take 4 from a Price of Progress, and then still die to Fire Blast. Is there any way I can beat that? So this is an instant. That is an instant, so it's not going to get countered by Warping Whale. I can get Glacial Chasm, but I don't really know where I go from there. So if I get Chasm, like, I buy myself 3 turns. I don't know if I'm winning the game in 3 turns. Like, I lose a land to do it. Let's presume I lose this. So then I'll have, like, 3, 6, 7, 8 mana. This is 9 towards that. Yeah, I think I just go for broke, make Merit Lodge, hope it's good enough. Like, dodge Mountain for 1 turn. Alright, I'm dead. Yeah, I kind of imagined this was going to be a rough matchup when we got paired. Like, so many of my cards can't really interact with what they're doing. Like, we would have won game 1 if my opponent just had, like, a couple more burn spells and not Sulfuric Vortex specifically, because I could have just chained Glimmer Posts and gained a bunch of life. So, like, that game, there's a definite argument for, on that last turn there, just going and getting the Chasm and trying to, like, wiggle my way into a win through that. But, like, the literal second my Chasm drops, I die. And I really only give myself 2 turns because like two the first turn for the second turn, and then I'm dead. And I don't really know that I can string that together that quickly. Ugh. All right, let's shake that one off. I don't know that I played optimally, but I have four cards that are very good in that matchup, and then a lot of very expensive spells. That's not what I want to get paired against. I feel like this is a mulligan again. Like, I have lands, not good ones. Like, this is probably not a card that I'm going to want to be playing this game. This is brutal. Yeah, yep. I have the infinite turns energy right here. All we need to do is draw 4 cloud posts in a row, and we got it. Opponent tanking on an opening hand, or getting a pizza out of the oven. All right, sword equip. Before we go to 4, how about we go to 5? And we're going to 5. Yeah, he had to go downstairs to get his pizza, and he probably went down a few flights of stairs. So for anyone not following Magic Twitter, the only thing everyone is talking about now is Bertoncini finally got a lifetime ban. Like 2 weeks after presenting at judge conferences about cheating. Thought that was pretty funny. All right. This hand good. Not going to have to go to 4. We'll keep this one. Do I want that map? Yeah, I probably want that map. I probably want a little bit more mana than what I have now. So if I play Cloud Post now, I can have 3 mana. I can actually have a lot of mana next turn. Oh god. We're getting belched. No! Well, both teams tried hard. Yeah, we run Force of Will, but we don't have any blue cards. Or Force of Wills. Alright, we're going down. Unless my opponent can't do their Belcher math, and they've just sacrificed their Tinderwall for nothing. Can hope for that, right? Look, if we get paired with elves and I can make it to all his Dusk mana, I'll be a happy boy. Please. Please kill me. He gets a kill me in chat. Oh. No, he doesn't. A black mana? Is that actually going to be like Spanish Inquisition instead? Belcher pass. Not have mana to activate. I draw Pithing Needle 2 cards deep. Eh? Eh? Well, we have gotten lasered. Opponent's build is interesting. They have Infernal Tutors and Dark Rituals. And Goblin Warstrike. Well, they probably only had one land, and it was on the table. I feel like most of my sideboard cards are good. I might play an oddly fair game of Magic. Curse and Grip can be good if they actually have to pass the turn with the Belcher. But if they just, like, sequence properly and then they, like, have 7 mana, they play Belcher, they activate. And I'm not going to go where I want to go with that. So I'll think about this. But I think I definitely want these 8 cards. I'd consider these. I may Dark Depths, just to have another quick win condition. How many Pithing Needles we got? We got 3 plus the Sorcerer's Spyglass. Arkin, thank you very much for hosting. I appreciate your support. I'll give you all the spiel in just a second. I need to think about my sideboarding. Alright. Don't like Bog. I don't like From Beyond. Glacial Chasm seems fine. I guess All Is Dust could answer Goblins, but not quickly enough, so I'll probably cut those. Like, Ratchet Bomb's just so much a better answer to Goblins. I'll probably cut... Maybe this isn't the best Ugin match. Ugin can get Goblins. I do not know how to board for this matchup. Cut a little bit of top end. Maybe junk one of those. Junk a Warping Whale. I don't have time to actually think about which things Warping Whale counters versus doesn't. No, I just boarded in the depths. I think I want to have it as a quick finish. opening hands have not been good. Alright, I can turn 2 Sphere. Guess that's going to have to be good enough. Alright, so for everyone coming in from Arkin's channel, hi, my name's Phil Gallagher, I run Thraben University. Today we are playing with sort of the big Eldrazi deck, and we're currently paired against Belcher, and life's probably rough. I'm going to go ahead and bottom this Stirrings. Like, it's a tutor, but I'd rather naturally draw a land. Just kind of with the way these next couple of turns are going to play out. Yes, effectively we are Legacy Tron. So if our opponent goes off turn 1, they got us. Uh-oh. Maybe they don't have it? I mean, it literally doesn't get any better than 3060, so well done. Yep, many turns of Magic have been played. Most of them by not me. Burning Wish. I presume my opponent will crack. If this is just goblins, I beat goblins. Because I'll play Forest, get Tabernacle, play Tabernacle, kill all their goblins. Please just make goblins and don't have something worse for me. Infernal Tutor. Okay, so it's just Infernal Tutor for Empty the Warrens to get one more storm count. This is fine. No, they couldn't have drawn both Goblin Warstrike and the mana to cast it. So, on my previous turn, just to note, I could have cast Sphere of Resistance. And it might have been correct to just do so. So my opponent couldn't have played out something like a Lotus Petal. It's just, like, awkward because if I play that out, I can't really, like, play a Warping Wail as follow-up, but I think that's fine. By the way, Tabernacle is, like, the literal most annoying card to play against online. So, I don't really feel bad for doing my opponent to this. They've registered Belcher. This is their life. And I think they have to, like, manually make this choice for every goblin. They sure do. Hmm. Hmm. Alright, so I guess I should think about my sideboarding proactively now that I have, like, time to think about it. So if they're this, like, 3-color, like, Jundi version that has, like, both Infernal Tutors and Burning Wishes, I should probably board my 4th Warping Wail back in. Yeah, I literally don't know how my opponent can win from here. So, Magic Fests are their new name for, like, the weekends that GPs are on. So GPs are an event at a Magic Fest. Yes, they could Spirit Guide to save a goblin. Alright, my opponent has figured out what's going on. Yeah, we've got Ratchet Bomb just in case. I guess my opponent could get, like, enough mana to cast something that kills a Sphere of Resistance if they're playing things that do that. I mean, you can sideboard with Belcher. You oftentimes just make their deck worse. So I can go 1, 2, 3, 4. I can turn it into 5 mana, so I can only cast one of these Warping Wails. This is how we win. 1-1 beatdown. We have a win condition. It's an awkward one, but it's a win condition. Actually, I guess I should tap Glimmer Coast. case I draw an Ancient Stirrings or a Crop Rotation. Alright, so I can go 2 mana, 3 mana, up to 4 mana. Also, if I didn't want to like waste my like, if I wanted to play super optimally, I should have Maze of Ith, my Eldrazi Scion. Like, it's just strictly better than not doing it, really, I guess. But I don't think that matters. Also, how is my opponent going to, like, time out playing Belcher? Now I have 3, 6, 7. Go down to 5, untap these. So I have 13 mana. So now I just need a big. The next tutor I find can just get Eye of Ugin and end the game. Tabernacle does some really weird warping stuff to games. Like, there have been a lot of times where I'm like, how could I possibly lose? And then a Tabernacle hits the table and I go, uh-oh, everything has changed. Like, when you lose out on a lot of effective mana, sometimes you just, like, lose the ability to do anything meaningful and keep your board. Oh my god, opponent. Just pass priority, please. The worst part is I'm going to have to go through another game of this, and they're going to, like, time out in the next game. Actually, I don't even want to show them that Ratchet Bomb. Sort of quip. From a while back, there was a Reddit post where someone posted about how they've been playing Tabernacle for like 6 months and they think it's great. Also, I don't know if it's still the case, but we definitely had a guy in Roanoke who probably owned at least... I don't want to exaggerate, but I imagine he probably had 20 plus Tabernacles. He did well by buying lots of them. Yeah, I don't think Tabernacle is a reasonable sideboard card for D&T. You know, seeing how it's one of the best cards against D&T. Don't think that's a winning formula. Have there been any sweet spoilers for the new set? I haven't really looked around in the last day or two. Has there been anything that might reasonably be legacy playable? Yeah, our opponent, I have no idea what's going on over there. I really hope they're doing something that explains this. Yeah, I'd like to think that they're just like over there like lagging terribly or something, and there's like some reason why they're doing what they're doing. It was a saga, right? He had to get the pizza, and he had to eat the pizza, and he forgot his wallet when he was going to get the pizza, and then I don't know, he flirted with the pizza lady, and I don't know, things happened. Or maybe pizza guy. Who knows? I don't know the gender of this person. Quick pizza wedding. Quick pizza wedding is definitely an option. Maybe I can get in a quick round of smash in during one of his turns. Likely. Likely. Even if they have to read all of their cards and all of my cards, I haven't really played anything that's mattered since that Sphere of Resistance. Eldrazi Scion does have modes to it, yeah. Ooh, do I even know Tinderwall's other ability? You can sacrifice it to do damage to a creature that it's blocked? How's it read exactly? It's like two damage to a creature it's blocked. Yeah. Got it. So smart and thin. Not according to one of my pieces of clothing here. Got this here. It's in Asian sizes. According to this one, or no, it's one of my other ones. According to a couple of the things I got from overseas, I'm like a triple XL in Asian sizes, which cracks me up. For the 53 of you out there watching this poor Belcher player's clock tick down, you're the real MVPs. You're here because you love Legacy. All right, what should I start sending them in chat? I think we should send them something good. My current idea is the lyrics to Smash Mouth's All Star, but I'm open to other suggestions. Oh, they're back. TurboJet Megachrist, thank you very much for resubbing. Thank you for your continued support. Ooh, Nickelback. Nickelback is strong. That is a good one. All right, now we can just kill them. We're supposed to have a game 3, but that's definitely not really happening. Yeah, I'm going to get an eye. You're right. You're right. I really should not actually kill my opponent because it's safer to win by timeout. You're right. You're right. Okay. Next level trolling. I'm in for this. Oh yeah, this is going up on YouTube. I have no regrets. My opponent was thinking about paying some costs. And then I think they remembered how good of a magic card Sphere of Resistance is. Sack them both to cast Ratchet Bomb. That is a strong line. I could just, like, sack them both to cast Ratchet Bomb and then stare at them while they time out. Yeah, my opponent is taking their sweet time. We also can win the game, but I don't really have a need to. Oh, now they're passing priority at a decent rate. Maybe I'll cast his Thought Knots here. I will take this Goblin Charbelcher. It doesn't really matter. I have no idea what's going through my opponent's mind. They finally decided to concede. So I want to play this Warping Whale. I guess I don't really need to win. I just need to not lose on my opponent's first or second turn. I'll probably board in the Krosan Grips in case they have to, like, belch and pass. Put in Surgical just to use your priority. So I don't really think Candle's all that fantastic. Yeah, see, the worst thing is that they're 0-3, so they're not getting prizes regardless. That's the worst part about all of this. So maybe I should have one other big Eldrazi back in the deck. I know, like, this just leaves me with, like, Thought Knots here and Kozilek, as well as the Dark Depths package as win conditions. I'm going to put Promised End in. I'm supposed to cut a random land or two. Yeah, maybe win cons are just kind of silly. Maybe you're right. Oh, shoot, I forgot about my Maze of Its. Yeah, it's... All right, my opponent has kept their 7. I'm going to go ahead and keep this. I have Ratchet Bomb to beat goblins. That's fine. So I'm going to play Forest and pass. It gives me the opportunity to crop rot. Our opponent's clock is red because they are playing Belcher and don't know how their deck works. And apparently they've had an affair with a pizza lady or man, gotten married, gotten divorced. I think I'm going to do what Cyrus normally does, and it's a little bit petty, but he calls it name and shame, where when someone does this crap to you, you post them to Twitter, and you just go, like, why would you do this? I've never had a Belcher player timeout before. That's not something that should happen. That's absolutely ridiculous and such a waste of my time. Yeah, after like 10 minutes of his clock was gone, I even messaged him in chat. I'm like, hey, can you try to speed this up a little bit? I'm streaming and I'm running out of things to talk about. And I just got nothing out of them there. Yeah, so as long as we start with like a tutor or a way to answer goblins, things aren't actually all that bad, right? So like if we start with a crop rotation, we can crop rot for Tabernacle to beat goblins. Or start with a Glacial Chasm. Well, I'd have to have 2 lands, but like start with a Glacial Chasm to go and buy a lot of time versus Charbelcher until we can like find a Pithing Needle to permanently shut it off. Man, I've been loving all of the Phoenix content that's been running around. Every time like I play against that deck, and it's like, I wonder what I'm playing against. Could be Grixis Control, could be Grixis Delver, and then it's like, ah! I just took 9 in the air. I see what you did there. Yeah, like you play Belcher to try and just like go through matches as quickly as possible with minimal amounts of interaction, and you just try to get there. It's kind of like a gambler's deck, right? You know, you hit the right matches, easy 5-0. You hit the wrong matches, well, there's always next time. Ooh, with Mentor. That I haven't seen before. That's cool. Ooh, upgrade to tier 2. You get a new emote then. It hasn't been updated in a while, but there was a Blood Moon emote, a Moon Man emote from back when I was playing a whole lot of Red Splash Taxes. That is yours now. Enjoy. So while we're waiting, I will be putting out 2 articles sometime in the next week here. I am writing an article for my own website, which is going to be sort of a 1-year retrospective of streaming, because I've been doing that for a year now, which is crazy. And then I'm writing an article for a different website. I don't think I'm at liberty to say which website yet, but there's another well-known legacy website, or site with legacy content, and I'm looking forward to that one being posted. It's taking a little thinking to get done. It's slow, but it's going to be really good when it's finished. Let's see, what other sweet content do I have coming? I guess I'll talk about that later. We can finally battle. All right. This looks like a reasonable opening hand. I have mana. I have things to do. Once I get a little more mana, I'm going to keep this. Yeah, things were relatively quiet for the first month or two. And then I really started to accelerate once I kind of hit affiliate status. I'm going to start with my Cloud Post, I think. I could like Ancient Stirrings, but let's not kid ourselves. The highest upside plays happen when you have a bunch of these Cloud Posts in play. Like one reason to lead on Stirrings was if my opponent plays Wasteland, I could like hold up a crop rotation next turn, but eh. I'm going to take Eye of Ugin. It's 2 mana towards Emrakul Promise End. Unfortunately, it's not really mana towards Ugin. If my opponent doesn't play anything that gives me an idea for what deck they are, I might just pass next turn and hold up Crop Rotation for Bojuka Bog in case they're Storm. Ironic non-bow indeed. Well, I guess if you take Ugin's Eye out and then you want to try to cast him, he's gonna poo-poo you. Yamakiller, thank you very much for hosting. For those of you tuning in, hello, my name's Phil Gallagher. Today we are streaming with Eldrazi Post in Legacy. We're potentially paired against Storm, although it could be just like some sort of Grixis control deck, maybe. A little early to tell. Bug. Oh. Alright, it is indeed Storm. It looks like we're playing against Ant. We did get a matchup. The matchup we got was Ant. And I really wish I had another crop rotation to punish that. But I don't. I didn't double check the math, but I think my opponent could have just gone Infernal Tutor into Tendrils and like 100% had the kill without needing to Past in Flames. Storm is hard. I've played some Storm on stream. Alright, so Trinisphere, Thought Knot, Sphere, probably fine. I'll consider Ratchet Bomb and Surgical Extraction. Both are kind of whatever. But I probably need to play them, and I might have enough bad cards where those need to come in. Alright, well, can I not? Alright, there we go. So I don't want Maze of Ith. those can very safely come out. And I might end up trimming just like another random land as well. Don't really like From Beyond here. All his dust seems pretty bad. Can probably trim some number of the top end. And Pithing Needle is not stellar either. Like, I can try to spike some of their fetch lands, but I don't really know that that's where I want to be. Yeah, if your opponent lets you K-grip an LED, something went wrong in the first place. So I want to bring the Dark Depths in as well, so I need one more cut. I'll just cut one of my top-end cards. So Ugin can deal with a bunch of Goblin tokens, but that's not really how Ant wins, so I think I'll trim that. Yeah, maybe I don't want Glacial Chasm. It's another card that can stop goblins, though. I don't know if this is better or worse than another piece of fat. I guess if I get a tutor, I'm getting Tabernacle if they get goblins. So maybe that should come out, and I should just keep another land in the deck. I have a Warping Whale for interaction. Is that enough? Oh, Connor, I'm happy to hear that. Thank you. I'll add that to the queue after the stream. I think this is probably fine. I'm going to keep this. Because Ancient Stirrings can also just go and find me another hate piece. So like I'll Ancient Stirrings, try to find some colorless artifact hate card, and then have Warping Whale up next turn. Yeah, I'll take a Trinisphere. Yeah, so that means we'll probably get two or three D&T streams this month. All right, so they're just playing those out. So I need to have a colorless up this turn in order to cast Warping Whale. That was a shuffle there. Oh, I'm going to counter that. I will happily resolve my Trinisphere. I expect they will probably have some, like, Chain of Vapor or Echoing Truth type card. So this isn't, like, 100% lights out or anything. So if I play Glimmer Post next turn, I'll have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. Alright. I'm getting into stupid amounts of mana territory. So 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 mana. Plus the candle. Oh yeah, I can cast spells. Maybe I should have held that Basuva in case I naturally drew Dark Depths. Urkel's Recall. Yep. Oh, it enters as the land? That's unfortunate. The low, low price of 30 mana. Ah, Thought sees me. Unfortunately, like, since they're casting both of those, they're showing me that they can go off. I think it was really a mistake to not cast the Thoughtseize first before casting those 2 Dark Rituals. But here we are. Again, I think my opponent messed up by going for a Past in Flames kill. Like, the storm count was 9. They could have just, like, cracked the 2 LEDs, gotten another Infernal Tutor for Tendrils, and win the game. Without having to open themselves up to a Bojuka Bog blowout. Just seeing how big they can make the storm count before they kill me. I really enjoy Vintage Cube. I have not played this year yet. I've got like 10 days left to do so. I'll probably play a couple rounds. I was just out of town for like the last week of, well, I was out of town for like the second to last week of December, and then I kind of like got back and had to like get my life back in order and like do New Year's and stuff. So I haven't had a ton of time. But I really want to. Oh, we're playing against Bob. He's probably playing Depths. So I have some good cards. But this hand's kind of medium. Like, I can play Bojuka Bog, crop rotate it into a post, play, like, Candle and Map. But I just see my... I see myself losing with this hand. But I have Crop Rot for Caracas, too. I guess I'll keep, see where it goes. Uh-oh. He was not on depths. If it's a fair deck, I may have time to salvage this. Natural Cloud Coast draw is pretty decent. I'm going to go ahead and just play that out. It gives him perfect information about my hand, but if I were to draw like a Glimmer Post off the top, I could play and crack map next turn, or maybe do some other degenerate things. You think he's going to Phoenix me? That'd be sweet. I wouldn't even be mad. It might be Phoenix. I think I want to hold this Stirrings for a turn. And bog my opponent. Take that Cabal Therapy out of there so that I don't lose another random card to the Phoenix. Assuming that's what's happening over there. Yeah, so when I first saw Arclight Phoenix in Legacy, because I ignored all of Standard, when I saw that card in Legacy, I went, ooh, this card's neat. I wonder what it can do. And I don't think the mono red shell was the best place for it. I definitely think the things that people are trying now are considerably better. All right, so if I play this, I can go 1, 2, 3, 4 mana. I'm fine with keeping the Ancient Stirrings and the Forest in my hand for another turn. He could be recording a video. He could just be trying to do some testing. All right. So if I play Glimmer Post, this taps for 3, 4, 5, 6, untap 7. So next turn I can cast Ugin, but I'll probably just wait a little longer to play it around a Daze. I think I'm just going to Ancient Stirrings this turn. Opponent is F6'd. So I can get a Glimmer Post, gain some life, or I can just Pithing Needle. I think Pithing Needle on Wasteland is probably really good. But if my opponent is not actually playing Wasteland, then map's better. I'm going to get a map. Technically, I should wait to make that decision. That is strong. So to finish my thought, I was going to say I'm just going to make it now just so I can F6 because I've got Ugin, so even if he makes a bunch of Phoenixes, I'm not worried. But obviously, now I am worried. Let me just make sure I can't Emrakul. So I can play Cloud Post, make 3 mana, untap, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, no. Alright, and I'm just going to die. I guess I should have waited. I could have gotten Tabernacle. My opponent could have paid for 2 Phoenixes and still killed me over 2 turns. Was it really okay with the second candle? I'd be so mad if that's the case. So I play Cloud Post, 3 mana, untap. Play Candle, go down to 2 mana. Use the 2 mana, untap the Cloud Post. Alright, sorry, I need to start that again. I'm not familiar with the math. So it's not enough. It's close. Alright, so Surgical seem good. Trinisphere seems good. I don't know that I'll go Sphere Deep. Ratchet Bomb seems medium. Alright, what's bad? I guess this isn't really a Maze of Ith matchup. Like, my opponent's going to be going wide of that with Phoenixes. And, like, it's not like stopping the Pyromancer but not the tokens does a ton. So maybe I cut those. I don't actually know that Pithing Needle really does anything. I don't know if my opponent's playing Wasteland or not. I'm not familiar enough with the lists. But I guess no, they're very mana intensive. If I board out the mazes and those, where does that leave me? I don't really like, I feel like I really want Dark Depths. Need another card. I'll play a Ratchet Bomb. I feel like Sphere is going to slow me down. So I can't cast these green cards, but I can make a ton of mana. I think I'll keep this. What's the difference between favor and favor? 1 letter. Got it. So I'm going to play out a Candle, not getting dazed. I'll play another Cloud Post. Jedi, thank you very much for the bits. Cabal therapy targeting me. Resolves. Crop rotation is a hit. Yeah, but our hand could become insane very quickly. Not as quickly as his hand, though. Well, can't cast this from beyond. I can cast any big dumb idiot in my deck, though. I try to keep it entertaining. Like, you gotta have fun with Legacy, right? If you're not, you're doing it wrong. Note the synergy here. Bob can Cabal Therapy, and because he's cast 3 spells this turn, he can get the Phoenix right back. So he doesn't even need to do it post-combat. It's just, like, strictly better to do it this way. Names Arclight Phoenix targeting himself to put another one into the graveyard. So Bob is conceding to me he is dead for prizes, so he's just kind of paying it forward. Yeah, the list is awesome. All right, so we're live for prizes going into the last round. Let's see if we can get something fair. This stream's been kind of brutal in terms of getting paired against combo-y things. Don't face Soul Nox or you will lose. I mean, that's good advice for anyone playing Legacy. We're playing against 15 Stepper. Glimmer Post, Vesuva, Vesuva, Vesuva. Keep? So I'm going to keep this and lead with Pithing Needle on Wasteland. Yeah, those long streaks feel real good. So this is going to enter tapped anyway, so I can't, like, pay for a daze anyway, so I'm going to play this pre-Vesuva. So now I can Expedition map for a Cloud Post, play Cloud Post on my turn. Alright, we're playing against Blue-Red Delver, so the Pithing Needle on Wasteland, not so good. This Ulamog, on the other hand, it should be pretty decent. So next turn, I'll play Vesuva, copy Cloud Post. I'll have 4, 5, 6 mana. Then the following turn, I'll have 4, 8, 9, 10 mana. That is pretty decent. And I can use my Expedition map to, like, go and get another Cloud Post to just gain, like, 5 more life. Yeah, unless my opponent is randomly playing something like Price of Progress, I feel like we're mostly done here. Warping Wheel's cool. Now, allow me to tap 2 lands. Alright, they're done. See, it feels real nice to play against something fairish, where casting my big dumb fatties matters. I don't really want to sideboard things. I feel like my deck's fine as is. I guess I don't really need Bojuka Bog. Play like a Thought-Knot Seer over that. Could see playing the Trinispheres. Pithing Needle can only hit, like, their fetch lands. It's not really what I want to be doing with those. I could play Dark Depths. Yeah, we played around days. We did a great job of doing that. Play Grips for Moon? How many moons are they going to have, though? That feels like diluting my deck. Like, I don't like the idea of boarding in, like, 3 cards for what might be a 1 or 2 of in their sideboard. Like, if they have it, I'd rather try to just, like, play through it. Like, I can still cast like Ugin's Olamog. Like, it's not like I require the colored mana. It makes my life so much easier, but if they're not presenting a clock, I can still potentially win through it. Like, if I lose game 2 to a Moon very quickly, I'll consider Krosan Grip when I'm on the play. Like, I'm obviously not an expert with this archetype. I've made plenty of mistakes this stream, but I don't think I'm supposed to board in Grip. All right, my opponent has mulligan. What does my hand do? My hand goes Glimmerpost, Candle, into copy Glimmerpost. So this is effectively a game where I start off with bonus life, and I can try to Ancient Stirrings for a Cloud Post. If I find Cloud Post, I can probably cast this. I don't love this hand, but I also don't hate it. I think I'll keep this. I can also just, like, lead on Forest Stirrings and not initially gain my life. Or I can just gain life every turn forever. That's the new plan. Yeah, so, like, the hand definitely has promise. I agree with that. Ooh, my opponent is on a one-lander. So I can just... I could map and Stirrings this turn. I think I'm going to play a map into a Daze. Nope, they don't have the Daze. And I'll just go ahead and Vesuva copy a Glimmerpost this turn. So they can try to find another land on their turn and maybe, like, bolt me. That's a fine draw. I'm okay with this. So I can Expedition map, crack these two, find Cloud Post, play Cloud Post. Next turn I can play Glimmerpost, gain 4 life, have 8, down to 7, untap, 4, have 11 mana. I can just All Is Dust next turn. That's neat. Let me double check myself. So this is 4, 7, down to 6, untap, 10. I can just All Is Dust, take their 2 idiots off the board. And then I'll put a tribal sorcery into the graveyard. That lets me cast Emrakul Promise End next turn. I only have an artifact in there right now. All right. This is what we came here to do, right? Like, we came here to bully people with squids. Ooh. Man, I can make a lot of mana now. Spaghetti. Why didn't we have a night of doing that, chat? That's what I wanted to do tonight. Instead, we just played against a bunch of combo where I just boarded in infinite cards every time and boarded out all of my fun things. No, that's the end of things. All right, so let's. You should rebuild this, but with all of the sideboard cards in the main. Well, that certainly would have done it tonight. Okay, so we did not have the best showing with this deck. Like, we won a game against Charbelcher where we killed them with Eldrazi Scions while they timed out. You know, Bob conceded a game to us that we otherwise would have lost. You know, the last game, when you play a deck like this, you're hoping to play against the fair blue decks. And that's just not what we played against tonight. Which is just super unfortunate. Overall, I'm not sure how good the green cards actually were. Like, it's a little hard to tell because things were skewed tonight. I don't necessarily know that like the 9 green cards are worth going into a color. Like, if you stick colorless, you have a couple more soul lands, and like you can play Ancient Tombs as well. So I don't know if like the upside of like the absurd power level of Ancient Stirrings is better than just like, say, the opportunity to play Chalice of the Void in your deck, or like main deck Trinispheres and things of that nature. So the crop rotations did make me better against combo. Like, they opened up the like backdoor Dark Depths out, and it gave me the chance to like tutor up Tabernacle, which single-handedly like won me that game 2 versus Belcher. So like, it definitely has its uses. Ancient Stirrings is super powerful in this shell. I do want to make sure that's clear. Like, other than the Ancient Stirrings crop rotation, it gets everything else in the deck, which is an absurd degree of selection. You know, clearly one of the higher level cantrips in Legacy. There's just such a deck building restriction behind it that most decks can't really take advantage of it. You know, it's look at 5, take the best one. That's great for 1 mana. Unfortunately, if you can't take all of them, it's loose. The From Beyond definitely was not good against all these combo decks we played against, right? But what if we just like play against something like Grixis Control, where it's just a mana ticking up every turn, or it's a 1/1 idiot every turn, a chump blocker every turn versus aggro. Like, it definitely has uses, but it did feel like one of the weakest cards in the deck tonight. Honestly, most of this stuff felt pretty weak tonight, unfortunately. That's just kind of how things went. Yeah, real hard to beat just a stream of 1/1s every turn when you also have to worry about this stuff coming. Like, any one of these is just devastating for a control player. So, like, I don't necessarily want to cut the From Beyond, because I think in some matchups it would have been really good. Honestly, if I was going to play this again, I don't know that I'd really make any changes. I got such a one-sided view of this deck tonight that I don't feel like I can just say with authority that I really want to change anything in particular. Some of the cards did feel a little clunky. And, like, I kind of wonder if the Glacial Chasm should just be in the sideboard so that I can, like, board it in for matchups where I'm going to want it. I didn't really necessarily want to, like, play that card just for a turn or two in a lot of the game 1. But again, I was playing against combo, so maybe my view is warped there. All right, I think that's all I have to say about this deck. We boarded in most of the sideboard, though, so we've got that going for us. We definitely needed all those hate cards. Yeah, I've played the blue-green version with Show and Tell before. and like Primeval Titans. I just haven't tried this version with Ancient Stirrings. This is new to me. So, folks, I hope you enjoyed the content tonight. Wednesday's stream is going to be pretty cool. I'm actually going to be playing Miracles with Wilson Hunter, sort of our owner / CEO of Cardboard Live. So if you're interested in that, show up Wednesday at about 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and we'll be seeing how many times I can accidentally click through a terminus and other stupid things. So I'm going to send you over to someone who's apparently playing some Legacy Birthing Pod. So we'll see how that's going. They currently have a whopping 2 viewers, so we'll give them some love. If you enjoyed my content tonight, please consider following. And if you really enjoyed it, consider doing a donation deck list or subscribing, doing something to support my stream. I'll see you all on Wednesday. Have a great rest of the night.